The dining room smells like roast chicken and lies. I'm back at the table where I first learned to say please and thank you. Dad slices his meat with surgeon-level focus. Mom tops off the wine, as if she's serving communion. Everything looks normal. Everything feels wrong, so. Did the money from Aunt Irene help you get back on your feet? The fork stops. The wine glass stalls. Even Charlotte glances up from her phone, eyes wide. What, money? The silence isn't cozy. It's the kind that arrives right before. A room shatters. My name is Natalie. I'm 25. And I've been quiet long enough. I've been avoiding family dinners for months. Not because I hate them, but because I finally learned the difference between being invited and being wanted. Tonight was supposed to be different. Mom called 3 times, said they missed me, said it wasn't the same without me there. Now I know why they needed me back. Dad's question hangs in the air like smoke. The money from Aunt Irene. She insisted on sending it after everything fell apart for you. My everything fell apart 6 months ago. Lost my job, lost my apartment, lost the relationship I thought would save me from having to move back home. I've been sleeping on a friend's couch, picking up freelance work, trying to rebuild without asking anyone for help. Especially them. I never got any money from Aunt Irene, I say slowly. Mom sets down her wine glass with the kind of careful control that screams panic. Oh, sweetheart, you know how scattered you've been lately. Maybe you just, Joanne. Dad's voice cuts through. Her deflection. Didn't you handle that? I remember you saying it was all sorted. The look that passes between them is everything I need to know. It's not confusion. It's coordination failing in real time. Charlotte finally puts down her phone. Can we not do this during dinner? Some of us actually want to eat. But I'm not hungry anymore. I'm watching my mother's face, the way she won't meet my eyes, the way her fingers tap against the stem of her wine glass like she's counting down to something. I'm noticing how everyone seems to know about this money except me. It was deposited. Directly, Mom says finally. With me. For safekeeping. You were going through such a hard time, and I thought, you thought wrong. The words come out colder than I intended, but I don't take them back. I watch her flinch, watch Dad clear his throat uncomfortably, watch Charlotte roll her eyes like I'm being dramatic. Where is it? I ask. We used it, Mom says quietly. For the house payment. Your father's medication. Emergency expenses. I was going to tell you, but you didn't. I stand up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor. Everyone freezes like I've pulled a gun instead of just deciding I'm done sitting in their invisible cage. Natalie, please, Mom starts, but I'm already walking away, my footsteps echoing through the house I grew up in, past the photos on the wall where I'm always slightly out of frame, always the one looking away from the camera. I grab my keys from the counter and head for the door. Behind me, I hear Charlotte mutter, drama queen. I don't slam the door. That would be giving them what they expect. Instead, I close it with the quiet precision of someone who's finally learned the difference between leaving and escaping. In my car, I sit in their driveway for 5 minutes, engine running, watching the warm light spill from their windows. They're probably finishing dinner now, probably talking about how sensitive I am, how I overreact to everything. They have no idea what I'm about to discover. My friend Sarah's apartment is quiet except for the hum of her ancient refrigerator and the sound of me tearing my life apart to find the truth. I'm sitting on her living room floor, surrounded by boxes of my belongings, looking for something I never thought I'd need as evidence, the birthday card from Aunt Irene. 6 months old, sitting in a shoebox with other cards I kept because throwing them away felt wrong. I pull it out, examining it under Sarah's desk lamp like a forensic investigator. The front is generic floral. Inside, Irene's handwriting, "Happy birthday, sweet girl. Hope this year brings you everything you deserve. Love. Aunt Irene. Simple. Almost impersonal. Which never made sense to me because Irene was never simple or impersonal. She was the aunt who sent care packages during college, who remembered every birthday with something thoughtful, who called just to check in, run my fingers along the inside of the card. There's a roughness along the bottom edge, like something was torn away cleanly. Not accidentally. Surgically. My phone buzzes. A text from Charlotte, Mom's crying. Happy now? I ignore it and open Instagram instead, scrolling back through old posts. There, 3 days before my birthday. A photo of Mom at a coffee shop with the location tagged, Millfield. That's Irene's town. 2 hours away, the caption, surprise visits are the best kind. I screenshot it, then scroll further. Another photo from the same day, Mom and Irene at a restaurant, both smiling. The caption, sisters catching up. Catching up about what? I grab my phone and open a new message to Irene. Keep it casual. Test the waters. Hi Aunt Irene. Hope you're doing well. Was just thinking about you and wanted to say hi. Miss our talks. Red heart. I send it before I can second guess myself, then wait. Irene usually responds quickly. 3 minutes later. Oh honey. I miss you too. I was just thinking about you yesterday, wondering how you're doing with everything. Are you settled somewhere safe now? Settled somewhere safe. Like she knows I was displaced. Like she knows I needed help. I type carefully, still figuring things out, but managing. You know how it is. I do. That's why I wanted to help. I hope it made a difference, even if it wasn't much. My hands are shaking now. She sent money. She knows she sent money. She thinks I got it. It was very thoughtful of you. I type, my fingers moving before my brain can stop them. Your mother said you were too proud to ask for help directly, so I went through her. I know it's not much, but I hoped it would at least cover your deposit somewhere decent. Too proud to ask for help directly. I stare at the message until the words blur. My mother told Irene I was too proud. My mother positioned herself as the intermediary for my pride. My mother made Irene believe she was doing me a favor by going through her. The card sits on the floor next to me, its torn edge catching the light. I wonder what the original message said. I wonder if there was a check tucked inside. I wonder how long they planned this. Sarah comes home from work and finds me sitting in the same spot, surrounded by the debris of my detective work. Find what you were looking for, she asks, dropping her keys on the counter. Yeah, I say, standing up and brushing off my jeans. I found exactly what I wasn't supposed to find. Asterisk 2 weeks later, Mom calls again. Sunday dinner, she says. Like nothing happened. Your father's making his famous ribs. I'm busy. Natalie, we need to talk about what happened. As a family. Something in her voice makes me agree. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe I just want to see how deep this goes. Sunday dinner feels like a performance where everyone forgot their lines. I bring flowers, grocery store daisies, and make sure to mention where they came from. I picked these up after I sent some to Aunt Irene, I say, arranging them in Mom's crystal vase. The silence is immediate and telling. Dad stops carving. Charlotte looks up from her phone. She was so surprised to hear from me. I continue conversationally. Said she'd been worried about how I was doing. Grandma speaks up from the corner. She's 89 and her filter disappeared years ago. Well, of course she has. After what she did for you, I'd expect you to keep in touch. Everyone freezes. Helen, Mom says sharply. What? Grandma looks confused. The girl should be grateful. That was a substantial amount. I leaned forward, giving my full attention to the one person who apparently didn't get the memo about the cover-up. How? Substantial, Grandma? Well, your mother said it was enough for you to get a proper place. First month, last month, security deposit. At least $3,000. Maybe more. Charlotte stands up abruptly. I need some air. But I'm looking at my mother, whose face has gone pale. You told Grandma about money I never received. Everyone, I realize, looking around the table. Everyone knew but me. Charlotte turns from the window. Stop being so dramatic. This one thing was literally sent to help me, I say, standing slowly. And somehow, it became about everyone except me. We had expenses, Mom says desperately. Charlotte's student loans, Charlotte's student loans? I look at my sister. With what are you paying those back? Your part-time job? Her face flushes. Red. The money was mine, I say quietly. It was sent to help me when I had nothing. And you all decided I didn't deserve it. I grab my purse. I'm leaving. Natalie, wait, but I'm already walking away. This time, I'm not coming back. The bank's online portal takes 45 minutes to load 3 years of statements. I sit in Sarah's kitchen, drinking coffee that's gone cold, scrolling through endless transactions while she gets ready for work. You sure you want to know? She asks, applying mascara in the hall mirror. I already know, I tell her. I just need proof. And there it is. March 15th, 6 months ago. Electronic transfer from Irene M. Patterson. $3,200. Memo line, for Natalie, fresh start. Deposited. Into the joint account my parents opened when I was 16. The account I never removed my name from because I never thought I'd need to protect myself from them. 3 days later, withdrawal, $2,800. ATM transaction. 5 days after that, check payment, $400. Payee, Charlotte M. Patterson. I screenshot everything, save it to 3 different cloud accounts, and email copies to myself. Then I call Dad's cell phone. He answers on the first ring, like he's been waiting. Natalie, thank God. Your mother's been beside herself. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. He's quiet for a moment. Okay. When Aunt Irene sent that money, did you know it was for me specifically? Yes, he says immediately. She was very clear about that. And you used it anyway. We borrowed it, he corrects. We always intended, Dad. I'm looking at the bank statements right now. You withdrew cash and wrote Charlotte a check. That's not borrowing. That's spending. Silence. Dad? Your mother was worried, he says finally. She thought if you had that much money at once, you might make impulsive decisions. You were in a bad place emotionally. So you made the decision for me. We made the decision as your parents. I'm 25 years old. You're our daughter. The casual possession in his voice makes my stomach turn. Like I'm still property. Like my bank account, my mail, my relationships with other family members all belong to them by default. Was Charlotte in on it? She needed help with her loans. The interest was killing her. That's not what I asked. Another pause. She knew where the money came from, yes. So Charlotte took money that was meant to help me rebuild my life and used it to pay down debt she accumulated buying clothes and going to restaurants while living rent-free in our parents' house. Dad, I want you to listen to me very carefully. I want the money back. All of it. Honey, we don't have, then figure it out. I hang up before he can respond. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzes with a text from Mom. Can we please talk about this like adults? I screenshot that too. Because the woman who intercepted money sent to help her homeless daughter and then lied about it for 6 months wants to talk about acting like adults, don't respond. Instead, I forward all the screenshots to a new email address I create just for this, evidencenatalie2024@gmail.com. I changed the password to something they'll never guess and enable two-factor authentication. They want to play games with my life. I'm going to start keeping score. Aunt Irene's house smells like cinnamon and old books. She opens the door in a floral apron, flower on her hands, looking exactly like the aunt I remember from childhood visits. The aunt who always had time, always had cookies, always had answers. Natalie. She pulls me into a hug that feels like safety. What a wonderful surprise. I was just making apple bread. We sit at her kitchen table, the same one where she taught me to play gin rummy 15 years ago, and I realize I don't know how to start this conversation. How do you tell someone you love that they've been betrayed by someone they trust? I wanted to talk to you about something. I begin carefully, her face shifts immediately. Oh, honey. Is everything not working out? I know it wasn't much, but I hoped, Aunt Irene, I interrupt gently. I never got the money. She stops mid-sentence, her coffee cup halfway to her lips. What do you mean? The money you sent for my fresh start. I never received it. The cup hits the saucer with a sharp clink. That's impossible. I sent it directly. To your mother, like we discussed. She said you were too proud to accept help directly, so she'd make sure you got it without feeling obligated. Without feeling obligated. Even my pride was managed by my mother. Can I see the transfer confirmation? I ask. Irene disappears into her home office and returns with a folder labeled Family Important. Inside, a printed email receipt showing the $3,200 transfer to Joanne Patterson's account. Below that, a handwritten letter I've never seen. I wrote this for you, Irene says, sliding the letter across the table. Your mother said she'd include it with the money. I unfold the paper, and my hands start shaking. My dearest Natalie, I know you're going through the hardest time of your young life right now, and I wish I could do more than send money. But I want you to know that losing a job and a home doesn't define you. You're strong, you're capable, and you're loved more than you know. This isn't charity, it's family taking care of family. Use it however you need, a deposit on a new place, a car repair, even just groceries and peace of mind. No strings attached, no expectations except that you take care of yourself. I'm proud of you for starting over. It takes courage to rebuild. When everything falls apart. Call me anytime, day or night. You're not alone in this. All my love, Aunt Irene. I am crying before I finish reading. Not pretty tears, but the ugly, choking kind that come from grief and rage mixing in your chest. Honey, what's wrong? She kept it, I whisper. She kept the money and the letter and told me you just sent a birthday card. Irene's face goes through several expressions: confusion, disbelief, understanding, and finally, fury. She what? I show her the screenshots on my phone. The deposit, the withdrawals, the check to Charlotte. I watch her face change as she realizes the scope of the betrayal. I don't understand, she says finally. Why would Joanne do this? Because she could, I say, wiping my eyes with a napkin. Because she decided I couldn't be trusted with my own life. We sit in silence for a few minutes. Irene gets up and paces around her kitchen, muttering under her breath. I can only catch fragments, my own sister. And that poor girl. And something that sounds like profanity. Finally, she sits back down and takes my hands across the table. What do you need me to do? The question surprises me. Not what happened, or are you sure? Just, what do you need me to do? Nothing, I say. I just needed you to know the truth. Well, I know it now. And I'm going to call your mother tonight. Aunt Irene, you don't have to. Yes, I do. She lied to both of us. She took money I sent out of love and turned it into, what? A family slush fund? That's not just wrong, it's cruel. I'm quiet for a moment, then ask the question that's been haunting me. Do you think she planned it from the beginning? Irene considers this seriously. I think your mother has always had a hard time believing other people can make good decisions. Even when those people are adults. Even when one of those people is her own daughter. She gets up and cuts 2 slices of apple bread, setting one in front of me with more butter than bread should reasonably hold. But that doesn't excuse what she did. And it doesn't mean you have to forgive it. I take a bite of the bread, and it tastes like childhood, like safety, like being cared for by someone who doesn't need to control me to love me. I'm going to cut contact with them, I tell her. I think that's wise, she says without hesitation. At least for now. What if they try to reach me through you? Then I'll tell them exactly what I think of people who steal from their own children. I smile for the first time in weeks. You don't have to choose sides. Honey, Irene says, reaching across to squeeze my hand. I chose sides the minute I sent that money. I chose you. I just didn't know I was choosing you over my own sister. Asterisk, the new phone number takes effect on a Tuesday. I spend the morning updating my contacts with everyone who matters: Sarah, my boss, my doctor, Aunt Irene. The list is shorter than I expected, and somehow that feels liberating. By Wednesday, the old phone starts buzzing with ignored calls and increasingly desperate voicemails. Mom, first. Natalie, please call me back. We need to talk about this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Like she accidentally intercepted federal mail for 6 months. Dad, Thursday. Your mother is making herself sick over this. Can't we work something out as a family? Charlotte, Friday. This is ridiculous. You're destroying our family over money. Mom's been crying for days. I let Sarah listen to that one. She makes a sound like a disgusted cat. She's been crying? Sarah says. What about you sleeping on my couch for 6 months because you couldn't afford a deposit? Did Charlotte cry about that? The calls escalate over the weekend. Mom leaves voicemails that are mostly sobbing and fragments about never meaning to hurt you. Dad's messages get formal, like he's negotiating business. Charlotte's get angry. Monday brings a new approach. Charlotte appears at the coffee shop where I'm working. She slides into the seat across from me like we're old friends meeting for lunch. You look good, she says, phone already recording audio. Healthy. I close my laptop slowly. What are you doing, Charlotte? Having coffee with my sister. Is that a crime? But her phone is positioned too deliberately, her voice too loud for the intimate setting she's trying to create. Turn it off. Turn what off? The recording. Whatever you're trying to get me to say for Mom, it's not going to work. Her composure cracks just slightly. I just want us to be okay again. Then you should have thought about that before you spent my money.